Hey, I'm Jeremy from JAMmoviereviews, and we just started this account, so we're just trying to kick it off. So we're all posting our separate lists of top and bottom of 2009, and I'm gonna post mine first because I'm really the first one to have the time. So, this is my bottom five of '09. I didn't really want to make a bottom 10 because I didn't actually. I haven't seen too many horrible movies. I actually thought 2009 was a good year for movies. I know Max and Adam, the other two guys in the group, would disagree with me, but I didn't really see too many movies I hated. Although I still haven't seen a lot of movies that like a lot of critics hated. But this is the list that I came up with of what I've seen, and yeah. If you think I'm missing out, it might like missing something important. I just might just be that I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna start out with two movies, sort of like my unhonorable mentions, like movies that I really hated but didn't make my list because they weren't as bad as other ones. So I'm gonna start off with Bruno, which I really didn't like. Especially, I might be just comparing it to Borat, but it felt really fake, really stupid, and really like cookie cutter, cliche, like not cliche, but just like he didn't go as far as he did in Borat, and it all felt like it was acted. Even by the like Borat felt like when he was actually interviewing people, it felt like they were real people. Bruno just feels staged. I think it might be a combination of like people knowing about him, more people know about him like than when Borat came onto the scene, nobody had really heard of him. But Bruno is also a character from the Ali G show, which is a show on HBO, which by the way I love, and Bruno has always been my least favorite character. But I kind of feel like that a lot of people might know who he is now, and but it just really didn't pay off in the movie. There's a lot of fake seeming scenes, and I just didn't like it. Another one of them is The Lovely Bones, which I thought it's an adaptation of a best-selling book, which I haven't read, but I heard it's great. And this is just a terrible movie. Peter Jackson, the script is like there's no decent script. I think Peter Jackson kind of thought he could make up with it with all this beautiful imagery and special effects, and I really felt like it was an overkill. It was excessive. There was so much stuff going on in this like in between, where she is trapped between heaven and earth. It just felt like stupid. It looked cool, but like there was nothing beneath it. And when it finally got back to the real story, there was terrible acting, um, a plot that really went nowhere until the ending. And the only thing that was redeeming about it was Stanley Tucci's performance, which I thought was really good. Um, One of the best of the year. So those are my unhonorable mentions. Now I'm gonna move on to my list. My number five, which is my fifth worst movie of the year, is a movie that I actually like. I heard a lot of negative things. I heard a couple positive things about it when I saw it. I didn't see it until it came out on DVD. Um, this is Knowing, and the reason I want to see it is because it's directed by Alex Proyas, who is one of the best sci-fi directors. Now he's made The Crow and Dark City, which I both thought were both brilliant. I, Robot, which I still really liked, weighed down by a couple problems, but Knowing I thought it had a chance to be good, and I actually, after watching, I think it had a chance to be good. It had a decent central plot. Um, there's one plot point beyond the actual list, which is main that I can't really ruin, but I thought that was had a lot of potential, but it was so poorly executed. Um, the pacing was incredibly slow. Like nothing really happened. There were periods of 40 minutes where nothing happened. Nothing would happen. Then there would be this bombastic action sequence for 3 or 4 minutes. Then it would go back to another more nothing happening. And there was awful editing. I think they could have taken out so much. And the dialogue was terrible. And the performances were probably one of the worst parts about the movie. Nicolas Cage is probably one of my least favorite actors. I don't think he has any talent. I know a lot of people will disagree with me, and I might get a lot of shit for this, but the only movies I've actually liked that he's been in were I liked Matchstick Men. I kind of liked Adaptation, but he's done so many terrible movies, and he'll just do anything. He has no standards for doing a movie, and I really hate him. So Knowing, I just don't know what's wrong with Alex Proyas. I hope he comes back with another movie that brings him back to his old standards. So my number four is The Unborn. It's a PG-13 horror movie, so it's already got a lot going for it. But sometimes they'll come out with a rare movie that kind of is like scary, at least a little bit suspenseful. Um, but this is just everything I hate about PG-13 horror. There's a lot of cheap jump scares and frantic editing, just trying to scare you, and there's no atmosphere. Like movies like The Strangers, Paranormal Activity, horror movies that really give a lot of atmosphere. Those are rated R, so I haven't really seen anything that's decent for as far as PG-13. and the acting is terrible. Gary Oldman, he's miscast in his role, and and the main girl Odette Yasmin is also bad. And there's also a twist about World War II that I'm not really gonna reveal. But it just leaves you laughing. It's just like you realize how stupid it was. Why would they even think of putting that into a horror movie? Um, it's just a terrible movie. And number three is a movie that made a lot of money, and that's part of the reason I hate it. Like, it's a big budget. It's Transformers 2. It's a big budget action movie, but it doesn't use its special effects to advance the story at all. It just uses it to show off. And I really hate Michael Bay. I don't think he's ever done a good movie. I think he's done a couple entertaining movies. I did like the first Transformers. I did like The Rock. But all of his other movies are just an excess of action scenes and no coherent plot, no good dialogue, and Transformers 2 is no exception. It's so long and there's so many special effects, so many excessive action scenes that it really doesn't matter by the end. The climax is like 45 minutes long. It's just one big long extended action scene, and it could have ended like 4 times throughout the movie and just keeps piling more on and just gives you a headache. There's the sound is terrible, like screeching throughout the whole movie. It's just not a pleasant movie to watch, and it still made a lot of money, and I don't understand how. Mostly because of Megan Fox, I'm sure, but still, it's a really bad movie. Number two, this movie might have been the worst movie of the year had it not been so fun to watch because it was so funny. This is 2012, which is so many like trying to be sentimental lines that just leave you cracking up. Horrendous acting from everybody, and so much laughable dialogue. So much like there's one scene with a chicken. I'm not gonna go through what happened, but I could not stop. I saw it with my friend in the movie. I could not stop laughing for like 10 minutes after the scene. It's just such a terrible movie that you just have to laugh. And a lot of reasons I didn't like it were the same as Transformers 2. It's just excessive special effects. Roland Emmerich, the director, just decides, hey, I can blow this up and people come see it. And miraculously, it worked. It still made a lot of money, and it was terrible. Okay, and my number one, my least favorite movie of the year. While The Unborn was everything I hated about PG-13 horror, this is everything I hate about R-rated horror, and this is Friday the 13th. It's supposed to be a reboot of the classic Friday the 13th movies that they made so many like laughable sequels, and this is trying to be a reboot, and it really just feels like another terrible laughable sequel. It's like I said, it's everything I hate about R-rated horror. It's excessive gore, stupid characters. It's just like there's excessive sex, excessive alcohol drinking. The thrills are so predictable. Like you're waiting for Jason to come out and kill you. It's just you just want to watch a lot of kids die. Lots of stupid kids died, and this is a movie. But I just really there's no substance to this movie. And also another thing I think is Friday the 13th is now pointless. Like because you know everything about the villain. There's no mystery to it, and it's just Friday the 13th will never work anymore, and people just need to realize that. And I just really, really hated it, and that's why I named it as the worst movie of 2009. So, if you like my list, comment, subscribe. I know Max and Adam, the other two guys, will post their list soon, and I'll probably post my top 10 of 2009. So, yeah, see ya. Hit subscribe. It's in the corner of your screen. All right, bye.